talk to you.
Why doesn't he just call on the ground control frequency?
We're running a hard line, sir.
They haven't begun refueling yet.
Yeah, they've got us parked about as far downwind as they can get us. Flight deck.
James.
Yeah, Barb.
Okay, so what do we do now? Keep everybody in their seats, serve drinks, or what?
Captain, this is Colonel Nasher.
Barb, go ahead and run a drink service. I'll call you back.
Okay.
Yes, Colonel, we hear you. This is Captain Holland.
You about ready to refuel us, sir?
Captain, I want you first to understand that I am acting under orders from the Pentagon, which is coordinating with numerous other governmental agencies, and those orders are to keep you in place here. No one opens any door or hatch, no one leaves the aircraft. The situation remains completely static.
The plan was to get refueled and then proceed stateside to Holloman or Edwards.
Now, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't
Give a damn what your orders are. I will not keep 244 people sitting here just before Christmas.
We need some fuel.
Listen to me, Captain. That is not going to happen. I repeat, we will not refuel you, and we will physically prevent you from leaving if it becomes necessary. You have a major biological emergency on board, and your aircraft is being impounded under emergency military authority.
Then I hope you've got the facilities to isolate 250 people.
Here's the deal, Captain. The only thing coming off of that aircraft is the body of that dead passenger, and that's not going to happen until my autopsy team gets here from Dover. My ass is on the line if one molecule of that virus gets off of that airplane and infects anyone or anything.
With all due respect, sir.
I don't care what happens to your ass. I'm not the warden. If someone jumps ship, I can't control it.
This is deadly serious, Captain.
I have security police all around your aircraft, and I am under orders to absolutely prevent any human being from leaving that airplane. That is a deadly force authorized order. Do I make myself crystal clear?
Crystal.
With me is Mrs. Robert Allard, whose brother is...
No, let's go. Dump Kingery. Roll tape. Get me to Dallas.
This is an ICN breaking news report.
This is Dave Tellender at Quantum World headquarters in Dallas with an ICN exclusive breaking news report. ICN has learned that Flight 66 has landed safely at Keflavik Air Force Base in Iceland. Sources at the airline expect the plane will be serviced and refueled there before flying back to the United States. These same very well-informed sources at Quantum told ICN that American Ambassador-at-Large Lee Lancaster, who played a key role in the Palestinian-Israeli peace talks, is a passenger on the plane and played a key role in negotiating with the government of Iceland.
Lee Lancaster. Where do they get this stuff? We sneaked the plane into Iceland, you fool. I can tell you that as the well-informed Secretary of State, because the next sound you hear is going to be the Icelandic ambassador popping his cork.
Not exactly.
Mr. President.
Good evening. Good to see you all working so hard. Now, what?
There's going to be a feeding frenzy in the press room, so before I get out there and evade their questions, I think the secretary is going to have to get on the horn to the Icelandic ambassador and dance as fast as he can.
If Lee Lancaster hasn't already smoothed everything over.
You know better than that, John. Lee is one of the most extraordinary men in government service. As it happens, he's also a personal friend.
You're right, Mr. President. I'm sorry.
Just tell me, John, how does Central Intelligence propose to extract us from this mess?
Sir, I believe the operative word would be contain, not extract.
Are you telling me, John, those people are not going to make it? That is unacceptable. That is not acceptable. Understood?
Hey, how you guys doing, huh? You sure you want to be up here in the isolation ward? Hey, you doing okay? I'm worried. And countries don't refuse landing clearance to 747s at Christmas because somebody has the flu. Whatever killed him is probably a lot worse than the flu, and I'm probably next because I gave him mouth to mouth. At least you didn't get fresh with me, huh?
Funny.
Come on, you two. I've cleared out business class upstairs. Captain thinks you'll be a lot more comfortable up there, okay?
And here the food's a lot better, too.
Okay, Irwin, you're my personal physician. Give it to me straight.
From a medical point of view, Mr. President, until at minimum the 48-hour incubation period has passed without incident, we can't bring that plane back to the States.
What the hell were the Germans thinking about? Screwing around with a doomsday virus like that? It's unbelievable. Okay. Si, you clean up the mess in Iceland. Jenny, you make nice to the press. John, coordinate a humane plan that still preserves all our options. Get on it right away. If we have to sacrifice 250 people to save 260 million American lives, we will, John. But we do not make it our first choice, okay?
Yes, sir.
Like an over-the-hill Barbie doll.
Critics are looking in the mirror and loving what they see. The Mirror Has Two Faces is one of the year's best movies. Funny and poignant.
You certainly know how to dance around that keyboard, Dr. Sanders.
Mark.
What you working on there?
Well, I'm looking for a viral pathogen, similar to the one that our Russian friend described.
And?
Well, I found a number with high fever, delirium, respiratory complications, and numerous chemical imbalances as the body attempts to respond, but no coronary involvement, not a single known case.
Which means?
To put it bluntly, the world may be going bonkers for nothing. This could just be a heart attack.
It may be. But that's not our operative assumption, is it?
Yes. Of course.
Good. Because Director Roth just called from the White House. We're to drop everything. Assess possible desert landing areas.
Where?
Africa.
Why Africa?
Because Iceland's very unhappy. Director Roth conveyed your medical assessment. The President thought it would be best to find someplace unpopulated offshore to isolate 66 for the duration of the quarantine. Don't let me interrupt.
Officials for Quantum here at JFK in New York have informed us that all future statements on the status of Flight 66 will be made at its corporate headquarters in Dallas. Okay, roll videotape.
Future statements from the airline ain't gonna mean squat, honey. This baby's a White House story now. Pam, get me Washington on the phone. I want to assemble a task force on this. You, my office, right now.
And airline officials refer to...
Folks, this is Captain Holland again with a little bit of an update. This information has been relayed to us by government authorities and our people back in Dallas at Quantum headquarters.
This ought to be good. In honor of the season, the Laplanders here are serving reindeer a l'orange. Wonder if this is how Gary Gilmore felt.
We would love nothing better than to get all of us home for Christmas. But I'm afraid, folks, that we've got to face a particular reality. Things are moving a little more slowly here in Iceland than we expected. And it will be at least Christmas Eve before they release us from this miniature quarantine. So it looks like we won't get home in time.
How did they do that?
Are you okay, honey? 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 Can you hear me?
I'm perfectly fine, Keith. I'm fine. I just don't understand why nobody does anything. We all just sit here. It's not right.
This might be a good time to show the colors out in the cabin.
Okay.
Hey, Rachel, come on in.
Look, I know at times that Ambassador Lancaster appears to be, how shall I put this?
Bit severe?
Well put. It's an occupational hazard in the diplomatic trade.
Too many suits, too much protocol, too much time wasted arguing over the size and shape of the negotiating table, that kind of stuff.
Precisely. So, you understand we can be flexible and creative in dealing with any diplomatic problem, including this one?
Sure.
Good, because Washington's a maze of competing interests, none of which will particularly care about the people on board this plane, and we are going to have to work our way through that maze together.
66, stand by for Colonel Nasher at ground command.
By the way, I had my eye on you too back in Frankfurt.
Captain, this is Colonel Nasher.
Go ahead, ground command.
Maybe it's a testosterone thing with Roth. You know, I'm a woman. He can't deal with it.
John Roth treats all people equally, like dogs. But tell me what you mean.
I can't figure him out. If I tell him that we're dealing with a potential catastrophe, he tells me to wait till I know for sure. If I tell him that we ought to wait for the autopsy reports, he tells me to go worst case scenario right now.
That's John. His professional veneer is 2 parts Kevlar, 1 part no mix. He's bulletproof, fireproof, and so damn stick resistant he makes those Teflon guys in the White House look like puddles of superglue. But don't let it bother you. It is not possible to read a guy who spent years in covert ops training to be a master bureaucrat. I'm his alleged protege. I can't tell you whether he likes his martini shaken or stirred. Bond? James Bond.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, Roth, do you admire him? Do you like him?
Why?
Just curious, that's all. I work in the basement, remember? Don't spend a lot of time around super spies and movers and shakers.
I work for John Roth, Ronnie. He's incredibly talented. I'm not required to like him or dislike him.
I didn't mean to pry.
Sure you did. You're carrying an ID from the CIA. You're required to pry. That's what the taxpayers hired you to do.
Folks, this is Captain Holland again from the flight deck. I'd like everyone to be seated, please. Things are moving a little faster here now than we expected.
Right. While we're not ready to depart just yet, we do have to
Oh,
open
you're just
one
going
of
to
the
sit
doors
here
to bring
until we
more
die,
people on
huh?
board.
Come on,
We'll
let's
also
do
be
something.
delivering the body of our deceased passenger to the authorities outside.
A few hours later, if all goes according to schedule, we will be leaving Iceland. But we're not headed back to the States. The Air Force is launching a couple of transports filled with medical personnel and supplies to meet us at an alternate destination. Once we're on the ground there, we'll be able to get everyone off the airplane. Unfortunately, as I suspected, that's where we'll be spending Christmas. We're going to be together another couple of days, folks. Let's make the best of it.